think that the reliance on West to make music in India has actually grown because of the accessibility that has been provided right now? So we are basically looking at some Western artists and trying to ape that and make something with the Indianized context.
I would even go to I'd say, tell me something. Anyone around you, do you see anyone going to learn an Indian instrument?
Very few.
What do you see mostly? I personally see kids just learning guitar, kids learning keyboards, kids learning bass guitar, kids learning drums, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards. These are the four instruments that I think which has just replaced almost everything that went before it, that came from India. And those instruments have they pull in almost everything Western. I mean, I'm a guitar player. I can't really say, but this is something that's come out of my examining my own self, out of the insight of my own career, and I've come to realize that our music has become almost entirely Western, and our languages have become Western. Even our Hindi is Western. It's simply a translation of English. The stuff that we might have said 20 years ago or 30 years ago is not there anymore. I mean, the big change is when I was living with my mom in Delhi. We moved to a house in central Delhi, and I remember if there was a woman older than I, then I would just refer to her as either a Didi or an auntie. So right now I see people just calling people by name. Okay, they might use a G as a suffix, but that's a big change I see. And people want to be called by their name. There is no need for any honorifics that we used to previously use. And that's just one example. And it's just, you can see everywhere. We have become very Western, and the stuff that was previously the glue of our society is not there. So it's producing two kind of effects. So one is a little positive effect in the sense that women feel a little bit more empowered, that women can go out and work late hours, and but the other is the previous glue, which said your actions reflect on me. That kind of belief system that we have, that we all need to pull in the same direction, is perhaps not there anymore. I remember Janmashtami being celebrated with great vigor when I grew up, and then there was Gurpurabs, and then there was Diwali, and then so right now we are all tripping in our own little universities. It's just I feel that we are more alone than ever before, and that is one aspect of our present modern living. And music is not up to the task of joining us. It is music is working for musicians. Music has stopped thinking about the masses. We're all thinking about our own careers, putting something out so that we do more shows and make more money. I don't think there's anyone out there thinking about society per se. There could be. I could be maybe a little harsh in saying all this, but my 2 cents.
You have touched upon a very interesting thing, which is language. That language has actually gone for a toss in music. If you look at in the last 10 odd years, do you think we are definitely not doing justice to the rich linguistic heritage that we have in India? Do you think it is because of the lack of talent? I mean, or lack of intent to basically learn a certain language and utilize the beauty of that language?
I think we are a deeply complex people. We have I remember in the 90s, India was roundly beaten by every foreign team. We were just happy if we went there and one of our players did well. We are deeply complex people. Something has gotten terribly interrupted within our collective consciousness. Um, I don't understand why my kids, despite living in a Hindi milieu, why do they have to resort to English words after every two words? I don't understand. Why can't they carry a simple conversation in Hindi? Not just my kids, almost everybody else's. And why does it take such an effort for me to pass on my own mother tongue, their own mother tongue, father tongue, which is Punjabi? Um, why do all of those things exist? The only thing is that somewhere um, our languages have become economically unviable, unfeasible. There is no great, if you were to learn English or if you were to learn Hindi, what's going to pay you more? It's a simple question, economic question, and parents tend to prioritize, the economic viability of a language. And so there is, I'm in the north, so I can just tell you, here's English and here's Hindi and here's Punjabi. It's just how it is. There is no a great knowledge transfer happening mm, in our Indian languages. In Hindi, I must talk about it a little, has become a very strange language. The project of Sanskritizing Hindi has gone on for far too long. For 40 years, it's gone on. It's not produced anything. They've not succeeded in convincing rest of the masses, especially in Delhi, to speak like the editorial language of, say, Navbharat Times or Jansatta. We don't speak like that. And it's gone on for 40 years, and it's still not. It's still a contrived, artificial project. Whereas the previous language, the language of the masses, which was Hindustani, has just been relegated to the margins. It's nothing gets said in that. Nothing. It doesn't produce any its own literature, although that's a language we all speak in. So some strange way of politicizing a language has gone on in this country for far too long, and it's produced. It's only succeeded in just shrinking that language, and people don't want to speak that language because it's nobody's language. You cannot. I dare you to speak like the language of a Hindi newspaper's editorial page. Just read it. We don't speak like that. It's just, and if you're going to speak like that, you're going to handicap a kid emotionally. You need to speak a language spontaneously, emotionally, warmly, and sadly, those things have been taken away from Hindi. And the thing which existed before it, which is Hindustani, has been purged because somehow it contains, I don't know, Urdu words or supposedly Muslim words, or I think we are at war with our own selves, and it reflects in everything. Now the Hindi cinema may have changed a little bit, but till about 10 years ago, look at any Hindi film. I lived in Bombay, and the new Hindi actors, they had to go and learn Urdu talaffuz. They had to, and it went overboard another direction. There'd be kids coming from, in the movies, the characters would be US returns, and they would be speaking, Thet Urdu, which was a disconnect. And now we have over here, you hear anchors and media people. So those are, I don't know where I was, but those are the issues. We are not going to be able to get in the ring with the big boys of cultural production in the world, which is Americans and French and English and Canadians and even the Chinese or the Iranians or Taiwanese, and we won't be able to compete with them till we have this war with what we're speaking. We most of the our the brightest people of our society, they spend 30 years thinking about how they're going to say something and not what they're going to say, and which is ultimately that's going to just dilute your culture even further. You're going to produce nothing.
Radio City.